Hello, everybody. Today we're taking a quick look at Sinners. This was written and directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Miles Caton, and Michael B. Jordan. Jordan plays twins Elijah and Elias Moore, also known by the nicknames Smoke and Stack. In 1932, they returned to their old stomping grounds in Mississippi after years of working with the Chicago mob. They used their money to purchase an old sawmill and turn it into a juke joint for the local black community. Opening night proves to be a little more than they bargained for, as there be vampires about. In the past, very good things have happened when Jordan and Coogler are working together, and this is no exception. It reminds me a little bit of From Dusk Till Dawn in that it's a vampire movie, but it doesn't really start out as a vampire movie. The first half of the movie has very little to do with vampires at all, except for one brief scene with the vampire lord of sorts, an Irish guy named Remick, played by an English guy named Jack O'Connell. He is being chased by what appear to be some Choctaw vampire hunters, and one of my few complaints about this movie is I wanted to see more of them, and they were only in that one scene. In fact, I would see a movie that was purely about Choctaw vampire hunters. Somebody get on that. The first half of the movie is all about the Smokestack twins reconnecting with old family members and friends, which mostly goes well. They also reconnect with some old lovers, which does not go as well. Hell hath no fury and all that. And they encounter some Klansmen, which also does not go well for the Klansmen. It is also a celebration of music. Caton plays Sammy, the Smokestack twins' cousin, who also goes by the name Preacher Boy, on account of him being the son of a preacher man. And Caton is an accomplished musician in his own right and really gets a chance to shine here. There is a scene that takes place in the juke joint that blew my fucking mind, and if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We get a voiceover that explains how some musicians are so powerful they can conjure the spirits of the past and the future. And as Preacher Boy starts playing and singing the blues, these various spirits appear representing the roots of blues music and also its modern offshoots, and it's amazing to watch. I'm not even sure I can describe it well enough to do it justice. It's just something that has to be experienced. And it was interesting seeing the different musical styles of the mostly black crowd in the juke joint and the vampires who are led by an Irish immigrant. He and his vampire associates are mostly singing either country music or Irish folk songs, and there is a haunting rendition of The Rocky Road to Dublin in this movie, and that is not a song I would normally describe as haunting. And Remick is a very interesting character. I've often said the best villains are the ones that think they're the heroes of the story, and he definitely does. At first, it's just him and two other vampires, a Klansman couple that he, shall we say, recruited. And yet, he's not really going after the black folks inside the juke joint for racist reasons. It's actually quite the opposite. As an Irishman, he knows what it's like to be under the boot, and he sees the black people living in the Jim Crow era South as being in a similar situation, and in his mind, by turning them into powerful vampires, he's helping them. Naturally, they don't necessarily see eye to eye on that. In his mind, he's empowering them, but he's also damning them to an eternity of undeath. So, you gotta take the good with the bad. The movie features a lot of classic vampire lore. They are vulnerable to garlic, silver, and sunlight, and can be killed with a wooden stake through the heart. And they can't come into a place unless they have been invited in, which comes into play several times. They are also extremely horny. In fact, pretty much everyone in this movie, living or undead, is extremely horny. Do not bring your kids, unless you want to explain to your kids why Preacher Boy has his head up that woman's dress. One of the few gripes I have with this movie, apart from the lack of Choctaw vampire hunters, deals with one scene in particular. At some point, there is a big battle between the vampires and the living inside the juke joint, and as the vampires charge in, I'm watching the people they're killing and going, that person they just killed wasn't there a minute ago. Pretty sure that person wasn't there a minute ago. That one wasn't either. What the hell is going on? All these extras just popped up out of nowhere just to get killed. It's like they didn't want to kill off the important characters right away, but they realized they forgot to add other people to get killed off, so they just threw them in there and hoped no one noticed. At first I thought I had missed something, but a friend of mine made a similar comment about that same scene, so it was not just me. Something was off there. But otherwise, this was really good. Coogler, what can I say? The man is a master at his craft. It's an excellent horror film with great respect for vampire lore and musical history, and I highly recommend checking it out. And that's all I have to say about Sinners. Till next time, take care.